get into it. But God comes first. I'm on the Mount, chapter 37. And we're talking about who gets the credit. Read from chapter 6, verse 3 and 4. Let's keep moving. Then get into the ultimate NBA history book in volume 3. What If book. We're going to talk about the San Antonio Spurs, the history and what if. We're done for today. We're done. Let's get to it. After chapter 6, verse 3 and 4, and it reads, But when you give to the needy, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, so that your giving may be in secret. And yes, Father, who sees what is done in secret, will reward you. All right, let's get into it. Jesus' teaching on this matter is probably the most challenging to the human ego. And we all simply want to be thanked, to be noticed, and to get recognition for something good we accomplished. But though being utterly anonymous is easy to admire, but extremely difficult to apply and consistently carry out. Let's go. This chapter is about giving to the poor. Fundamental principle lies behind the think of Jesus in these lines. Who gets the credit for the good thing that is done? Whether in politics, whether it be in medicine or the church, we feel that people everywhere have huge egos, but we cannot be bear doing something worthwhile if people are not noticing it. When we do what is right, will it be noticed? When we do what is commanded in Scripture, will people see it that way? When we do what is honorable, will it be appreciated? Joseph did the honorable thing when he refused to sleep with Potiphar's wife. But there's no hint he was ever vindicated in his own time. The vindication apparently came posthumously when Moses wrote up what actually happened. This alone suggests to me that it might sometimes be a good thing to be falsely accused and keep quiet about it, to see what God will do with you. In Joseph's case, he was an accused foreigner, an alleged Hebrew rapist, who was made prime minister of Egypt without being cleared of the crime that put him in prison in the first place. God can do anything. He's teaching about not letting our left hand know what our right hand is doing. It shows how easily we tend to take ourselves too seriously. This word applies to those who fear that the recognition, appreciation wasn't going to come soon enough. But most of all, it shows God's timing and manner of giving us a recognition that is worth waiting for. Healthy giving. There's a pattern in Jesus' words that are worth noting. 4 pairs. The first pair is in his substance when in verse 2 and 3. When you get to needy, the second pair is do not. Verse 2 and 3, do not announce it. Do not let your left hand know. If you don't adhere to the first do not, we certainly won't attain to the grace of habit of not letting our left hand know what our right hand is doing. He said he was also faithful in that which is least and faithful also in much. Least is not to let anybody know we give. That just builds up a habit whereby we don't even tell ourselves that we give, that we gave. The third pair shows 2 purpose causes. To be honored by men, and so that your giving may be in secret. The 4th pair draws the reward, shows the reward that follows each. They have received their reward in full. This being clear earthly praise, and your Father who sees what is done in secret rewards you. So when God shows that what he will do, if he gets all the reward, there are 2 questions we might ask. Who gives the credit? And who gives the credit? Do you want people to give you the credit, or for God to give the credit? Choose for God to give you the credit. You will be rewarded in the way Jesus is urging for us to experience. Healthy giving is refusing even to allow ourselves to think I've done well. We should build up a discipline of not congratulating ourselves for something that is right. We must not only consider our giving from people, must refuse to gloat inwardly that we have done something big by our giving. Logical impossibility. Not letting your right hand know what your left hand is doing is not only seems impossible, but seems without reach. To achieve this lofty goal means we begin by hiding our giving from other people who might praise us. As long as you tell others what you did that was good and right, you're not going to be able to keep this knowledge from yourself. The possibility, logical, then is to overcome the obvious fact that you most certainly do know what you have given, and whom, when, and how much. But this line of thinking crosses over into other disciplines. We know how much we pray and fast, and how often we do know the wrong that people have done to us. We also know whether we have totally forgiven. We know when we have experienced deep, severe trials, and whether we try to identify those trials. But what about compliments given to us? We do remember the compliments, the complaints, and the criticism. When you witness to a lost person, one thing to do, you know what you did. You know whether you helped someone to get to church with ease, whether you help in doing many things at church, whether you welcome strangers. We all have a fairly shrewd idea if we have done what is right and good, and whether the job well. It is therefore logical impossible not to let your left hand know what your right hand did. How do we do it? And this means we refuse to congratulate ourselves for something that was absolutely right to do. This does not mean you live in denial or repressed knowledge of what happened. Quote Michael Eaton, this is Jesus' playful and humorous way, speaking of our deliberate, not focusing on ourselves or what we are doing. In a word, we do it as unto God, then forget it. John Stott put it, not only are we not to tell other people, there's also a sense in which we do not even tell ourselves. Why? It's because self-consciousness can quickly become self-righteousness. You are self-conscious in doing what is right when in danger of becoming smug, not also obnoxious. Even John Calvin said, our aim must be that God is our sole witness. It's like come to Christ in the first place. In my hand, no price I bring, simply to those that cross I claim. You aren't voting about your need, you're focusing on Christ. In the same way, when you have done what is right, you focus on God. You should no more want credit for what you did, than what you credit for being sent. We come on bended, knee, mercy, need grace. It's much the same. We have done what is right. We are all unprofitable servants, only doing our duty. Once Luke chapter 17, verse 10. The honorable motive. A motive said Jesus to give in secret. Well, when we give, when, why, where, how, to whom, how much is secret. Likewise, I'm praying and fasting in secret, known only to God. Not only that, the wrong done to us is secret. Total forgiveness begins with not telling anybody what they did to us. But there is more. When we have totally forgiven them, we must not boast of this to the world. Nor do we say to the person, I forgive you for what you did to me. It's almost always counterproductive. Stab in the heart. Tell them you forgive them only when they want to hear this. Furthermore, don't gloat that you have forgiven them. Because total forgiveness is your duty for God. And so the great trial you are in, pour your complaint only out to God. A legitimate and edifying thing to do. According to Psalm 142, verse 2. It might be a good thing. If you kept your comments to yourself too, that is a sweet secret you share only with God. It also helps keep others from being jealous. How you cope in identifying the trial should also be for God's ears only. God loves being a sole witness. Like when the slaves of deep south saying, generations ago, nobody knows the troubles I've seen but Jesus. Remember that he likes it that way, being the only one in the know. What if the day came when God said to you in an unexpected manner, now I know you really love me. And he did that with Abraham. Do what is put do what is put in this chapter. It's requiring internal willpower. We begin by refusing to think about it, the good we've done, or the evil they've done to us, comment or criticism. There's a story about beloved Uncle Buddy Robinson in the old denomination. Someone came up to him after saying, Uncle Buddy, that is the greatest sermon I ever heard. Uncle Buddy prayed, oh Lord, don't let me get puffed up. Seconds later, someone said to him, this is the worst sermon I ever heard. He then prayed, oh Lord, don't let me get puffed down. We must constantly reject thoughts that make us feel self-righteous so that it becomes a graceful habit. And it is wrong to keep a wrong of records. It is wrong to keep a record of wrongs, according to 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 5. Which means throwing up the other past mistakes is equally wrong to keep a record of rights. As registering when you have done a good thing, and never ever say, I told you so. It shows you kept a record of wrongs. We all sin when it comes to carrying out Jesus was perfectly. None of us is perfect, but if we aspire to receive the honor that comes from the God only, this road less traveled is the choice we must all make. We are talking about a lofty goal, one that we can aim at. God could do it for us in one stroke. He chose to. He did this for Moses. His face shone, but Moses did not know it. Apart from God doing it for us, Jesus telling us what you and I can do. We were to carry out Jesus' recommendation consistently. We will reach the place where we become almost impervious to criticism and praise. We keep this up, we won't take ourselves too seriously. We all want to impress each other. We all desperate for approval, but Jesus knows this. He's given us a way forward. His words are a lesson how to fight against self-conscious valor, virtue, and value. This apparently will be achieved by some. The righteous will answer, Lord, when did we see you hungry, feed you or thirsty, and give you something to drink? When did we see you a stranger and invite you in, or needing clothes and clothing? When did we see you sick or in prison and go to visit you? The king will reply, I tell you the truth. Whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers of mine, you did for me. Matthew chapter 25, verse 37 to 40. Living like this is a lifelong pursuit. Call it a life sentence, if you will. You must do it as lifelong as you live. We are not talking about a self-conscious once for all achievement. In the instant we think to ourselves, I managed not to let my left hand know what my right hand did. Shows we did let our left hand know what our right hand did. It's a lifelong action. Keeping your eyes on Jesus. Pursue this, work at it, keep at it until you are on the way you do it. Makes me think of author Blessed, who has probably witnessed to more lost people on a one-on-one basis than anybody I know. Yet author told me in all honesty that his greatest failure is that he does not witness to enough people. He comes pretty close to not letting his left hand know what his right hand does. The best fishing guy on the planet is Harry Spear. Looks harder than any god I have fished with. On the boat with enormous energy and rigor. I was asking him, Harry, do you do that? How do you do that? Once you think about it, you've lost it. So one doesn't think about it. Hidden graciousness. All of our acts of righteousness ought to be concealed, said Jesus. Giving is a gracious thing to do, but it should be a hidden graciousness. Forgiving evil that is done to us is a gracious thing to do. We are not to broadcast to the world what noble thing we did. Instead to say, I told you so, we are to say nothing. The closest Jesus came to this was merely looking straight at Peter, and the rooster crowed. That hook, without anything being said by Jesus that would add insult to injury, caused Peter to sob his heart out. The moment we advertise how we got it right, forfeit the great joy of heaven and earth, if I was on reward. Our goal, therefore, is to do our best to keep our graciousness hidden. I say, I am being gracious to you. I haven't made you feel better. I am calling attention to my deed, thus focusing on myself. Even if I think I have shown valor and courage. Again, when a person does that, they become like self-righteous. That self-righteousness will stand out like a hideous running sword, not to mention forfeiting the greatest honor that anybody can receive, the Father's praise. Once King says he appreciates that what has been written in this chapter goes against our grain. Do not find this easy to do. That's why I said at the beginning of this book that it's arguable whether perfection Jesus commanded in Matthew chapter 5, verse 48, versus what he had already taught, what he was getting ready to teach. We are all self-righteous by nature. Its twin self-pity is always lurking by our side as well, aiming nonetheless for utter secrecy when it comes to doing what is good, right, and noble. Next, lastly, the guarantee honor. Even if you experience this promise is not in vain. Then your Father, who sees what is done in secret, will reward you. Note the two words, when and then. When we do our good deeds in secret, then our Father will reward us so openly. When we identify the trial, which is done in part by keeping quiet about it, then the Father will reward us. We are gracious, then the Father will show his pleasure. And it refers to God's time. It may be in the here and the now, but it may be in the then and there. Don Carson says that the locale and nature of the reward is in time and eternity. God may reward us below. He may vindicate us below. But the inexpressible and incalculable joy will be on that day of days we hear from the lips of Jesus himself. Well done. The righteous judge of the universe begins roll call. You will hear names nobody has ever heard of. One by one, they will reply, me. Why did I ever do to receive such a smile from God? It's because God sees. Hagar learned this in a long time ago in Genesis chapter 16, verse 13. You are the God who sees me. God knew her every hurt and her every move. The devil loves to flatter. He will put thoughts in your mind that are geared to make you take yourself too seriously. He comes as an angel of light. The best word that was ever heard by R.C. Campbell was from the great William Perkins, who once said, don't believe the devil when he tells you the truth. So when you meet someone who knows his or her worth is a complete turnoff. So who gets the credit? Who said it first? Who gave the money? How that idea? Who prayed for the healing? Who brought enemies together? Who was the mover or shaker that made this or that happen? Do you insist on getting the credit? Or can you wait until God's event? Then your Father, who sees what is done in secret, will reward you. It's a reward worth waiting for. That's it for chapter 37. Who gets all the credit? Who gets the credit? We're from Matthew chapter 6, verse 3 and 4. Let's get into, I'll be in chapter 38 tomorrow. Why not pray? Matthew chapter 6, verse 5. Chapter 6, verse 5 says, when you pray, do not be like the hypocrites. They love to pray. Stay in the synagogues, the street corners, be seen by men. Say the truth, they have received their reward in full. Be tomorrow. Let's get into Ultimate NBA History Book. Antonio Spurs and What If. Maybe for the day. With Ultimate NBA History and What If Book, Volume 3. Given to San Antonio Spurs, continuing on them, who have been the most well-run American professional sports organization of the 21st century. Only New England Patriots can compete with that. The Spurs, they accomplished with Tim Duncan era, Kawhi Leonard, those guys, obviously Dave Robinson. But all starts with, Tim Duncan, since his rookie season. He came to the NBA in 1997-98 until the end of the 2016-2017 season. San Antonio Spurs went 1,070 and 425 in the regular season. They won 72%. They 1,495 games over a 20-year period as an NBA franchise playing in a league with 29 of 30 teams. They won at least 50 games in the season for 20 straight years. Won 5 NBA championships. Made 6 NBA final appearances. They have 37 and 15 and 52 NBA playoff series in that stretch. That's the highest winning percentage for any franchise in NBA history. That can be only achieved with persistent greatness from the top to the bottom of an organization over an extended time, a perfect mesh of personalities, talent, unselfishness over an extended period. You may not have the cashier of most success in history or the individual greatness of the Chicago Bulls, Michael Jordan, or the glitz and glam of the Los Angeles Lakers, but each sport is about winning. Any team sport is about collaboration, working toward a common goal. no organization in the NBA actually has since he done that better than San Antonio Spurs. They had the highest all-time winning percentage in NBA history at 61.1% when this book was written. So let's look into it, man. The Spurs was not always in the NBA. They was used to be in the ABA. They joined the NBA as part of the NBA merger. In '76, they coexisted in the American Basketball Association, the ABA, originated in the 1960s as the Dallas Chaparrals. They kept that moniker until the next 73-74 season. Then they moved to San Antonio and became the Spurs. The Spurs were one of the better teams in the ABA in the final 3 seasons. They 73, 1976, but never had much postseason success. They became one of 4 teams to merge into the NBA as part of the NBA ABA merger with Denver Nuggets, Indiana Pacers, and New York Nets. The other franchises, those other 3 franchises still exist to this day, of course, and have kept their nicknames. The Spurs are far and away the most successful of the quartet, as the only one with the NBA championship on their belt, 5 to be exact. The Spurs entered the more conservative NBA in 1976-77 with 2 24-year-old studs at the time, potential stars like Larry Keenan and the Iceman George Gervin. George Gervin led his team in scoring with an arguable NBA season with 23.1 points a game, 1.5 rebounds, 54% shooting. Keenan averaged 21.9 points a game, 11.3 rebounds for the Spurs team, and finished 44 and 38, and 5th in the Eastern Conference. They would lose 2 games to none in the first round in the 1977 playoffs. The Boston Celtics, JoJo White, David Cowens, and agent John Havlicek. The following season, they had 2 future legendary NBA coaches on their roster. That season, George Carter and Mike D'Antoni. Okay, so let's move into it, man, where the Iceman George Gervin becomes an NBA superstar of the NBA and the league's top scorer in the late 70s and early 80s. So the 77-78 season, this is when George Gervin became a superstar. Age 25, leading the league in scoring, 27.2 points a game, All NBA, NBA All-Star, All NBA first team, finished second in the league voting to Bill Walton. George Gervin had his best season of his Hall of Fame career. According to the advanced numbers that season with career high per 24.7. Then it was April 9th, 1978. One of the most memorable days, final days of the NBA season, the regular season, where Gervin and David Thompson were battling for the scoring title. Thompson scored a career high 73 points, 28 for 38 shooting, and Gervin had 63 points. It was able to win the scoring title with 27.2 scoring average, and to 27.1 average by Thompson. And the Spurs made it 52 to 30, second in the Eastern Conference. Despite averaging 33.7 points per game and 55% shooting, Spurs will be outplayed and upset by the Bullets of Washington in the 1978 Eastern Conference semifinals, led by Elvin Hayes, Mark Danger, and Wes Unseld. Bullets will go on to be the team with the worst season record and eventually to win the championship in 1978 after 44-38 regular season. Joe Henderson was drafted in the 3rd round in the 1978 NBA draft that came back, won 48 games. Gervin averaged 29.6 points per game. Second in MVP voting against Moses Malone, Houston Rockets. San Antonio finished second in the Eastern Conference once again. Matched up against Dr. J and Julius Erving, the 76ers, and semifinals in 1979. Philadelphia was able to win 92-90 to send the series to a win and take all Game 7. So Game 7, Julius Erving scored 34 points, 8 assists, had 5 rebounds. Gervin had 33 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists. The X-Men came out on top. Spurs won their first playoff series to advance to the next 79 Eastern Conference Finals against the defending champion Washington Bullets. But they lost in Game 7. Game 7 was a classic. Spurs had a 4-point lead, but followed 2 minutes, and also got fouled and made a couple free throws. Then James hit a mid-range jump shot to tie the game at 103. And Greg Ballard was fouled with 35 seconds left and made the free throws for Washington to give them 103 lead. Then George Gervin tied the game with a turnaround jumper at the elbow with 25 seconds. They gave George Gervin 42 points. James hit a shot in a short corner with 9 seconds left to give the Bulls a 107-105 lead. A slightly lost possession with doing the Spurs as they would lose this game in the series, become the third team in NBA history to lose 3-1 series lead. It'd be another 20 years until the former NBA team will appear in the NBA Finals. Following season, next 79-78, 79-80, Spurs Governor averaged 33.1 points per game, finishing 41-41, but they lost to the Rockets in the first round. 80-81 season, they started out 9-1 in the first 10 games. Governor led the team to score for the fifth straight season, 27.1 points per game. All NBA first team, fourth straight season. 52-30 was their finish. Rockets beat the Spurs in 7 games, 105-100. Then 81-82 season came around. George Hill was the NBA scoring champion for the fourth and final time. That's 81-82 at the age of 29, averaging 32.3 points per game. All NBA first team, the fifth straight season, final season. He finished 48-34. He goes to the Lakers, West Conference Finals, and sweep. Also had Alex Gilmore on the team. They traded Cozy and Albert Dean to the Chicago Bulls for All-Star center Alex Gilmore. '83. They made it to the playoffs. They lost to Lakers. Six games. This is the height of George Gervin's era at San Antonio Spurs. Then they struggled mildly back after the 80s. They missed the playoffs. They had their first losing season in the NBA in the 1983-84 season. Missed the playoffs. Version 37-45. 84 draft, they drafted Alvin Robinson out of Arkansas. 41 and 41 and 84-85 season. Things would change years later when they got David Robinson in the 87 draft. David Robinson out of Navy, 7'1" center, physical specimen, so they would become a contender going into the 90s. They would play in the Alabama Dome. They went 56 and 26 in 1990, 89-90 season. David Robinson averaged 24.3 points a game, 12 rebounds, 24.3 points a game, including 12 rebounds, 3.9 assists, 3.9 blocks, 3.9 blocks, 12 rebounds, 24.3 points a game. So they was able to do that. Had Terry Cummings on the team, averaged 22.4 points a game, 8 rebounds, 8.4 rebounds. Lee Anderson, Rod Strickland, Maurice Cheeks, John Elliott. They all were in double figures. They went to the West Conference semifinals, but they lost to the Trailblazers in 7 games. Only 105 was the final score. So now they had a lot of early playoff exits. 1990-91 season, 55-27. They lost 3 games to 1 to the Golden State Warriors. In the final season, 92, Robinson that got hurt. He had surgery on his thumb. The collision in Charlotte Hornets game. So without Robinson, they got swept with the Phoenix Suns. 2 games to none. 92-93 came around. They lost in the semifinals to the Phoenix Suns. Charles Barkley lost in 6 games. The Dave Robinson won an MVP, 94-95 season. 93-94, they made to the playoffs. Lost in the first round, 3-1. The 94-95 season came around. San Antonio Spurs were the first 60-win team franchise history and finished 62-20, the best record. MVP award winner was David Robinson, 27.6 points a game, 10.8 rebounds a game, 3.2 blocks a game. But they lost in the conference finals to Houston Rockets. Lost in 6 games. Elijah had a great series. So what was that? Game 6, Elijah had 39 points, 17 rebounds, 60 and 25 shooting. They went up going to the finals. Then here comes the tank job. Here comes Tim Duncan. They won the draft lottery. They drafted Tim Duncan. From day one, they never looked back. Big fundamental. It was a game changer. They were just dominant. They go 56-26 that first season under with Tim Duncan's rookie season. 21.1 points a game, 11.9 rebounds. 21.1 points a game, 11.9 rebounds, 2.5 blocks. They lose in semifinals to Utah, 4 games to 1. And Duncan becomes the first player to grab the brass ring in 1999. But Michael Jordan retired. He's his first NBA title, first of 5 titles. They went 37-13. Duncan, 21.7 points, 11.4 rebounds, 2.5 blocks a game. They were just dominant that year for that playoff run. They beat the Knicks, won in 5 games. Had a 12-game winning streak during that postseason run, 15-2. So at age 23 at the time, Tim Duncan was named the Finals MVP. He was the heir apparent to the crown for left by Michael Jordan as a premier player on the premier team in the league. He averaged 27.4 points a game, 14 rebounds in the 1999 NBA Finals. And also the 1999 draft, they drafted Manu Ginobili. So they had a rivalry with the Lakers. 2000, they made it to the playoffs, but they lost in the first round. Duncan had a knee injury. 2001, had a great season. The fun fact is that the 2001 season is the last time in a full 82 games season that the team league's best record won less than 60 games. Duncan had 22 points, 22.2 points, 12.2 rebounds, 2.3 blocks a game. It was the conference finals. Faced the Lakers. They got swept. 2001, 2002 season comes around. Like it's now 25. He averaged 25.5 points a game, 4.7 rebounds a game, 3.7 assists a game, 2.5 blocks a game. Yeah, second seed. They lost to the Lakers again in the semifinals. 5 games. Then Duncan ascends to the throne. There's another championship. So I got Tony Parker, Duncan, Steven Jackson, Bruce Bowen, Dave Robinson, Malik Rose, Manu Ginobili, and Steve Smith. And they win a championship. Knocked the Lakers out. And Duncan was doing his thing. Back-to-back league MVPs. 2002, 2003. 23.3 points a game, 12.9 rebounds, 3.9 assists, 2.9 blocks per game. So knocked the Lakers out in the semifinals. They won that series in 6 games. Once in 82, Duncan had 37 points, 16 rebounds. And Tony Parker had 27 points. In the West College Finals, they beat the Dallas Mavericks in 6 games to go to the finals. And then in 2003, it's the Nets. They won that series in 6 games? I believe 6 games. Yeah, 6 games. So at Game 6, the Nets had a chance to force a Game 7, but despite having a 9-point lead, they blew it. The Spurs went on a 19-0 run, something historic. They went 88-75, scoring the Nets 23-5. Last 9 minutes of the game, they sent Dave Robinson in the sunset. 13.17 rebounds, and Duncan had a great closeout performance. 21 points, 20 rebounds, 10 assists, 8 blocks. He was a Finals MVP, 24.2 points, 17 rebounds, 5.3 blocks, 5.3 assists. So Duncan had earned 2 NBA titles, 2 NBA Finals MVPs, 2 NBA regular season MVP awards by the age of 27. In the offseason, they lost Steven Jackson, so they had Hawks and Steve Smith in free agency to the Hornets. In 2003, they signed Robert Horry, Rashad, and Anthony Carter. They also lost Steve Kerr to retirement. In 2004, they lost to the Lakers in 6 games. This was the 5th time the Lakers, Shaq and Kobe Lakers against Duncan Spurs. They had split the previous 4 series, and this was the 4th time they met. Kind of solidifies the 6 seasons, and Lakers won the series in 6 games. It's the team that had Kobe, Shaq, Barry Payton, and Cole, and they won 6 games. But the Spurs will get the championship back in 2005. They came out winning 16 of their first 19 games at 59-23. They were able to win the championship, beat the Detroit Pistons in 7 games. He won 74-3rd. Retired in 6 seasons. So look at 25 points, 11 rebounds. Third MVP in the finals. Averaged a 20.6 game. 42.1 rebounds in the 7-game series. In 2006, they lose to the Dallas Mavericks in 7 games. And San Antonio wins it again, 2006-2007 season. Wait for the 4th time. They swept the Cleveland Cavaliers. That was the 3rd title in the 5th season and 4th in the past decade. So As Duncan, his back half of his NBA career, was for seed control of the Western Conference to Kobe Dirk Durant. He did go to the conference final in 2008. They goes to the Lakers. Five games. In 2009, they go 54-28, but they struggled. They lost to the Dallas Mavericks in 5 games. In 2010, had their worst record 50-32. 2010, they lost to the Phoenix Suns in a sweep. Then 2010, 2011, there was no one seed, but they got upset by Memphis Grizzlies. Grizzlies won in 6 games. 2012 was the conference finals. They lost to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Then they come back in 2013. The roster had more youth, athleticism, defense. So you had to start with Tony Parker, Danny Green, Kawhi Leonard, Tim Duncan, Thiago Splitter. They went to the finals and faced the Miami Heat. They could have won that one. It was for Ray Allen's 3-point shot. They tied the game. They would have had their 6th championship. Fifth championship, excuse me. So in that game 6, the NBA Finals, Tim Duncan had an all-time finals performance. The season opportunity to possibly win his 5th NBA title, 4th NBA Finals MVP. He scored 25 points in the first half, 11-13. Even at age 37. He was doing his thing. But that shot by Ray Allen definitely changed everything. Step back and hit the 3. He lost game 7. So then the next season comes, they win the championship. Spurs on a mission. They went 62-20. They started on fire with winning 13 of their first 14 games, including an 11-game winning streak. They would top that with the 7th longest winning streak in NBA history from February 26th to April 2nd, 2014. They played the Thunder in the Western Conference Finals in a rematch. They beat them. Game 6. He won 6 games. Faced the Miami Heat in a rematch. It was deeply so much different. They outclassed the Miami Heat. They were dominant. So he won their 5th in 15 years. They had been 7 years since they won a championship. And by 2007, they was able to do it 7 years later. And dominant faction, scoring differential was the best, largest in NBA Finals history, 14. 110-95. lost 98 to 96. Then the final 3 games, they outscored the Heat about 57 points. 83, 111, 92, shooting 59% from the field, 57%, 107, 86. They closed it out, winning 104 to 87. Kawhi Leonard was MVP of the finals, 17.8 points, 6.4 rebounds, and Duncan averaged 50.4 points, 10 rebounds, and what would be 6th NBA Finals appearance at the age of 38. Fun fact is Duncan will also become just the second player in NBA history to win an NBA title in 3 different decades, 90s to 2000 and 2010s. The Spurs have one of the greatest regular seasons in NBA history before closing the curtain on the Duncan era. So Kawhi Leonard will become the best player, the leading scorer, at 16.5 points a game, 7.2 rebounds a game, 1 steals per game. So 55 and 27. They lost to the Clippers. Yeah, they lost to the Clippers 111 to 109, Game 7. In the 2015-2016 season, they had the best regular season, one of the best regular seasons in 75-year history at the time in the NBA. They won 67 games. The home loss was to the Warriors, who won 73 games that year. They won their first 39 home games, which is pretty mind-blowing. That total from March 15th to 2015 to April 10th, 2016. The Spurs had won an incredible 48 straight home games. Kawhi Leonard averaged 21.2 points per game, 6.8 rebounds per game, 2.6 assists, 1.8 steals. So they advanced to the second round. They beat the Grizzlies in a sweep. Then they faced Oklahoma City Thunder. So it was a rubber match. They had played twice. 2012 West Conference Finals, 2014 West Conference Finals. So they played again. But they lost in 6 games. The Spurs. They won the final 3 games of that series. They won in 6, and that was the end of an era. So Kawhi Leonard ascends, gets injured, and leaves San Antonio. Tim Duncan retired in 2016, the summer. It was the best of times. So let's get into what if Ray Allen misses at the end of the Game 6 in the 2013 NBA Finals. If you missed it, likely Tim Duncan wins his 4th NBA Finals MVP award. He would have been the second player in NBA history to win 4 more NBA Finals MVPs. Jordan is 6. They will win the title. Heat will start to crumble around LeBron the final season. The 2013-2014 season, as Dwayne Wade missed 28 games. Injury was entering the downside of his career. Mario Chalmers was the same below average starting point guard. He always was. So the Spurs won back-to-back NBA titles in 2013-2014. Duncan then becomes the first superstar in the modern era to match Jordan's holy grail 6 NBA titles, and that completely changed the narrative surrounding Duncan's legacy. because the lack of flash and pizzazz on the court or off the court, the quiet, private, workman-like nature of Duncan's greatness, the average NBA fan would still never even enter him into the greatest of all time. Not the discussion with Jordan, but he would absolutely deserve to be there. Spurs having won 6 titles in the Duncan era, back-to-back titles in 2013, 2014, would have most definitely made them the greatest dynasty in NBA history. Not the most historic or successful franchise, but the greatest dynasty. The 6 NBA titles and 7 NBA Finals appearances for 19-year stretch with Duncan, where they won 50 or more games every single season, more impressive than the Lakers run with Magic from 1980 to 1991, where they won 50 games every season, 5 NBA titles, and made 9 NBA Finals appearances. More impressive than the Bulls, right from 1993 to 1998, 50 plus games, 6 NBA titles, 6 NBA Finals appearances. Then Ron and Heat would have only one NBA title in 4 years. LeBron will have now 3 NBA titles and 3 NBA Finals MVPs. Now, the 2012-2013 team won 66 games, 27-game winning streak on the NBA championship. It's an all-time great championship team. So what the author says. So let's break down that. As far as that's concerned, what could have been. And there's a chapter also talks about why Tim Duncan is a top 5 NBA player in NBA history and the most unstoppable superstar in history. There'd be another Tim Duncan. Yeah, that flash, it wasn't flashy. Because Duncan put his ego aside, they were to make it work, took multiple pay cuts in order to keep the core roster around, sacrifice whatever it was necessary for the greater good. It was going to go every season win an NBA title. I'm from the Virgin Islands. He grew up at, didn't play basketball until he went to high school. Also, how they 2010s San Antonio Spurs reinvented themselves as a European style offense, faster pace, spread the floor out, ball movement, more 3-point shooting, which meant less touch and less post-up scoring opportunities for Duncan. Do you think Shaq would have been down with that in his prime or ever? Probably not. Tim Duncan was able to adjust to the Spurs playing style instead of forcing the team to adjust to his. They saw about being the defensive anchor on the other end that kept them as an elite defensive basketball team as they had always been with a slower pace. That required more energy and less touch for a superstar in his 30s that had already won multiple league MVPs and NBA titles. I'll say that chapter that the Warriors teams that was good in the latter half of the 2010s would not have been what they were. The beautiful basketball product would be what it is without the Spurs teams and Tim Duncan's unselfishness. The Suns were built with the Tony style of one player dominating the ball, setting up those around him at fast-paced offense. The Spurs kept the ball moving from side to side, create the blueprint that the Warriors expanded upon with greater talent. Many great NBA teams utilize today with the zero point 0.5 seconds with the ball before deciding style of play. Tim Duncan's selflessness. He announced his retirement on July 11th, 2016, in the middle of the summer after having already played his last NBA game with no fanfare. A literal facts to the Spurs. Kobe and Dirk had a whirlwind appreciation tour during their final NBA season. You bet LeBron would as well. Tim Duncan was a rare breed and one of a kind. So that's it, man. Look at the San Antonio Spurs. I'll be in Toronto Raptors. Talk about them tomorrow. Look at their history. Also look at what if. What if the Toronto Raptors had kept their draft picks from the 1990s together in the 2000s? That's a good one. What if the Toronto Raptors had kept their draft picks from the 1990s together in the 2000s? That'll be on a document including the history of the Toronto Raptors. All right, so that's it. I'm done. Hope you enjoyed chapter 37. Gives the credit. Right from that. In chapter 38, I'll be reading from chapter 38, talking about why not pray. That's it, chapter 6, verse 5. That's it, chapter 38. Right, so that's it, man. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe, hit the like button, but mostly importantly, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate it. Till then, talk to you tomorrow.